instruments used in their ceremonies speaks.
Ancient mother, I hear your laughter. Ancient mother, I taste your tears. What up? What up? What up? Pass over this. Whatcha? Whoa. Oops. No. Okay. All better. Starting now, baby. New Shaligram talk about. Up in. I did it this way because I have these images. Why not? Let's get out of this slideshow. This one is so exciting. Whoa. I'm out of control. Maybe a little bit. Okay, so welcome to the Shaligram Zone, where we talk about Shaligrams. We're pretty deep into the content. We've gone through all sorts of things. Basically documenting how these stones can not be fossils. There were no living creatures involved in the formation in terms of like a shell. There were no seashells involved in the formation of shaligrams and the ammonites and other features. All of the features are the product of current flows. This one's a pretty good example where we can see the first ammonite, which is, okay, how is this not a fossil? Well, there's another ammonite right here with the chakras, like this chakra here, chakras here, that we can even see the chamber type structure that's happening around it, that happens around these. And then there's another sort of pseudo chakra forming over here. All sorts of things. But they're not actually fossils. They're all etched by currents. And today's Shaligram, one of several en route, just arrived today, is this one from Sri Rudram, based out of somewhere. It's got like a Pennsylvania address. I was looking at it earlier out of curiosity. Where did it come from? Oh, there's so many Shaligrams. This one's incredible. Let me see though. Alright. Somewhere like over here, maybe. I don't. Oh, let's see the name. doesn't really matter per se. I think there's one coming from this area, and then this one arrived from this area somewhere. Oh, Lord in heaven. Anyway, this one is incredible because it is maybe I'm still not sure, but it might be the most profound proof of what I'm trying to basically demonstrate, that these are not caused by fossilization, that they are a product of current flows. So get the drawing pad. Let's go to the drawing board, as they say. Okay. We'll just start with this image, sure. So it's got the ammonite that has chakras, generally something like there. And then the nucleus type region, chakra. It's got the ammonite. And then with like the teeth, boundary of the ammonite. So these teeth type shapes are the boundary of an ammonite. Like generally when we see these, depending on the angle we see them, and sometimes we don't see all this, we just see this, and if enough other details are involved, it really demonstrably is an ammonite. And what's so crazy about this one is down here, oop, what happens? It goes across, like we see it goes across here. And yet, in a kind of like the shape of the tooth that's like this kind of shape, it generally like this here, down and across here, where it's kind of got like a tooth shape here, like a larger one involved. And then it just kind of weirdly has this slice that starts here at the ammonite. So this is peculiar. It starts at the ammonite. So if I go like to the right here and go like this, like that's a very common shape. And even here we can see right here, like right above it basically, is this region, and then like this. So if we go to like this folder and go to like here, this shape that has this little region and then this wrapping region that is like interior to a larger one, exterior, sometimes comes off different points. It doesn't always come off the chakra itself. Interesting that this is like off of the chakra. That's probably meaningful. Probably worth noting. I'm not sure what to make of it at the moment, but like this, I guess. This general shape. So even though it's not there, like here's the center, so like it's kind of there, so this thing kind of makes sense, coupled with this up here and this general boundary, as possibly some attempt of this eddy inside of this region that's going in here, out maybe, like in through here, out along the boundary, out through here, maybe out through here. It has the option to go this way, but, and it even seems like over here to do it this way in a weird angle. It's kind of like demonstrating that the pressures, because what's happening here is an eddy, a current flow is eddying inside pressures that are holding the stone's materials together as one unit, but they're in flow as well, which is causing differentiation, where like the pyrite is concentrated, or like a quartz formation happens where like ammonites have crystals in them, kind of thing, because the current flows of the process that form them led to that outcome. It's not just like randomly happening by coincidence, basically. And like that ammonites are good places for the mineralization to occur and crystals to form, and voila, magic. No, it's that current flows are concentrating certain materials. The black shale that this is composed of is very fine grained, that's why it coats it, whereas the pyrite is larger grained, so it's more porous in appearance, because that's where the current is flowing through. So it's literally flowing inside the rock, down through the chakra, and out the other side of this eddy, running into a pressure though. That's generally like the base of the stone. And that pressure is leading to flows to the side, which then generally starts to carve more structure as they go to the side into other pressures though. So they do the same thing, like where they go in one direction and run into resistance, then they bend to go in another direction, run into resistance, and bend around and around and around and in, and do the same over here. And then after this forms like this general area, say to like this right there as like a shape, after a lobe forms, it then has a certain capacity of current that it can contain within the eddy. And if the current flows that were forming these stones, that were shaping them, in the instance had enough energy, what it then does is it shoots out current at specific energy points of the top, the bottom, or the side of these lobes, which then can again do the same thing and become another lobe. And this is just systematic. This is how these shapes will form, where we'll find it in like in some segment of the process where only like this portion's formed and only this portion's formed. It's not that it was broken, it's that only certain portions were etched by the currents. And the reason we know it's not that it's broken is because in this case, this downward flow that went this way, the shape of the rock was like, well, I don't actually, it's not this way. Some of it probably was going this way, not enough to really etch the shape of the next lobe. And instead of growing this ammonite, like it essentially grew the eddy within the stone to a certain point that it branched off in this current here. And when that happened, it managed to basically wrap around the stone, behind the stone. So it goes back this way, which is here, and continues around and becomes another ammonite. It just becomes another ammonite. So then the flow off of here, literally, and then dot, dot, dot. This one's subtle. We don't really see it on this side. Like a secondary one anywhere, like here or anything. Or here, say. There's no sign of the other half of the ammonite, per se, immediately off of it. But there is this evidence of some connection all the way back to the actual structure. So mind you, if this is an ammonite, in truth, a first shell, in terms of the seashell concept, a first shell, which would then have like an interior outline that would be like the lobes that we were just drawing. A first shell would have to physically have another shell like here, but then this second shell doesn't stop. It keeps going. It keeps going. Let's see. Here's that first shell, and then here's the second shell. We really can see the second ammonite's boundaries here. It kind of has a hiatus, but it's fully threaded through, where then it reaches the actual ammonite lump over here, where we really see the ammonite structure here. So this literally threads back to there, where then it continues, where then it runs into the other ammonite, which, by the way, is this right here. At some point we can see into, I believe it's right here, and see the interior of this first ammonite through this opening here, which means this portion is part of that first ammonite. So that first ammonite's here. The second ammonite that abuts it, it goes around it and back, literally behind it. So back to here, it doesn't just go off of it, it actually then goes around it and behind it. Let's check out my video. I don't know why it's so bad quality. Probably sending it on email. Okay, the main point though is here's that ammonite, which notice though it kind of flows from over here really. like there's always etched lines over going this way, and then we have the actual structure, and then it flows though kind of from the other corner basically. So from the front it's flowing really from like right here, where there's notably little ridges like up here, just subtler. So we've got a flow from those ridges back down along this path, which interestingly has like an indent, which then goes to it, where then the other side is there. And then as we flow around, that keeps going, it keeps going. Then it reaches this flat face, which is kind of odd. Like, it tends to do these, but it does them in the shape of the ammonite itself. Usually this one's like sideways. Like, it doesn't really make sense for the ammonite that it's associated with. It should be this way. But this Shaligram has basically dominant and recessive eddies. Eddies that are dominant, interestingly, in certain areas and recessive in others. The main eddy is dominant in and of itself, in that is the one that we see right here at the front. This is the main eddy that was interacting with this stone's material when this Shaligram was in the process of forming in these currents. This eddy doesn't have like recessiveness to it, except for in its like attempts to grow further beyond the boundaries that we see, but internally it is cohesive. It does not have like some flow into some obscurity region, because it's the dominant eddy in totality, but there is like elements like over here where it's interacting with other eddies, so it's a little like not fully formed there. And then immediately here, this one starts to transition into being the dominant eddy, the one going around it. So it's literally like chain links. Two eddies like chain links, seemingly, in the way they interact. One spawning off of the other, interestingly. Incredible features. Okay. But then as we get over here, where this face is weird and isn't like in the direction, although interestingly like in here is more like that way. I don't know. Drop this pen. Let's keep going. But as it goes this way, it just abruptly like slides, so it has an outer boundary here, besides like the general shape in the region maybe as another boundary, but a boundary here that it then generally goes over that direction. So it looks like this boundary, which was going through this way, starts to interact and just can't really get through over here for some reason, which will, as we keep looking at the rock, we see the ways things are interacting with each other and why maybe that might happen, where a flow goes this way and then bends this way. Interestingly, it goes to generally where this one is pointing. So it's almost like this one and this one are meeting over at this side, and then taking the path that this one is generally being forced to go first, where they're both generally being forced to go that way, is what I'm thinking. Because while what's going on over here, there's that dominant eddy. So like the chain link wants to go back across it, but it can't, so it actually like reconnects like weirdly in like a staggered way kind of thing, it seems, where it doesn't actually cohesively form like the standard ammonite, this one wrapping around. Like it starts to do weird things where whether or not it's the same thing becomes like scientifically, we deny everything you're saying, so fuck you. The end. Problem solved. Did anyone else have any debates you wanted to raise about our authoritative positions of wisdom and knowledge? No, I didn't think so. Crazy, there's so many details. There's the view through it. Can kind of see like divides, kind of like chamber features around this. Just subtle. Where it's like this ammonite, this eddy is bending down this way, being forced by this other current. Which is odd. It's so odd. So like over here, something's pushing it, but like that's not even really that ammonite. It's actually another ammonite that shows up in the stone. So, like not this one. Right here. So we've got an ammonite going across this way around, and then one through this way. All these eddies interacting with one another, and like boundaries being just pristine. Dudes, the features on the surface of this Shaligram caught me off guard. How epic it is. Because I was really like, oh my god, it's two ammonites lassoed together. Like, what are they gonna say except ignore what I have to say? Because there's no actual rebuttal. This shit makes no sense scientifically. It doesn't actually make fucking sense. They just kind of hand wave things. Well, with enough time, erosion, coincidence, anything can happen. It's like, have you seen the surface of the Shaligram though, brah? No, you have not. Are you sure? If you saw the surface of this, that you would maintain that position so confidently? Dudes, let's check it out. So I did take some pictures. Downloads. found it, but is this newer or older? Okay. Is this it? Thought it was. Oh man. Alright, I'll open this. This is definitely the pictures I was taking. Where did I begin? Let's see. What about this? Not this. I don't know if I ever talked about this one. This one's crazy too. I must have talked about this one. Must have. The freaking erosion patterns in here. Oh my god. Suture pattern looking thing going on there. Ricotte structure looking thing going on there. Chakra looking thing going on there. Oh my god. We'll get there. This. What? Oh my god, I gotta get my head out of there. Like, this looks like a wave crashing in the ocean. Incredible. All the perfect rings and then almost like a record. Interesting, the word. Like an album, but record. And then record. Record of what happened? Not a record of fucking fossils. Oh, it's a fossil. Fossil, the record of what? Well, how the creature grew it. That's a record of the current flows that were necessary to produce an eddy in this thing there. Oh my god. Okay, where are we? So crazy. Oh my god, so crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Look at these freaking subtleties. Like lines going along here, but then they generally like roll around like fruit roll-ups or something. Layers. Like doop. Makes me think of Karen Siglock. Geology, I don't know. I was hoping I could just find it. Let's go to examiner.com. Baja Siglock. Probably that one. These ribbons. I think that generally speaking, it is interpreted that there's some kind of ribbon-like thing like this nature in the details of below North America, without going into this, I would recommend checking out Baja BC playlist by Nick Zentner on YouTube for thorough details and my own playlist for my interpretations of things. But there is this idea that sometimes comes to mind of this like ribbon thing that they proposed. I think it's still something. It sounded pretty like plausible. Also, there's this North America, Western Idaho shear zone. When this is Australia, I love this. It's so cool. Future Alaska. Oh. Okay. But anyway. That's fine. These freaking. It's just so good. Wow. It's so good. The pictures I took. Hey there, lady. Alright, fellas, settle down. Oh man, that kind of looks like several things. Interesting though. The layers. Oh my god, it's probably so revealing to exactly how the currents flowed. Almost looks like they went along the edge, wrapped up, went along this edge, round, and maybe at some point went back the other way where there ends up being this so that it goes up this way with current going this way, or vice versa. It's going this way and some of it divides off and goes back, and maybe kind of back, where it just has nowhere to go and slowly works its way in until it gets to like a nucleus region where it's more able to actually erode and create space for the current that is leading to pressure in the first place, but in a structured way. Okay. Maybe I didn't take. Maybe this is not the images. They're all really good images. Like, what? This is pretty much the kind of stuff I was looking for in these images, but not. I guess I should stop wasting time. it through really fast. Definite current flow details though. Like the subtleties. Pinching through into a wider area, widening, and then getting into like a eddy region, and then expanding over into another region where it kind of eddied, and then pinching through, and then widening out, creating like a chakras with a lobe and a lobe, or chakras with a lobe and a lobe, etc. Currents going in different directions over top one another, leading to turbulence, literally, that then at times leads to more structured turbulence, like how these are kind of chakras, up, down, over, up, and then tiered, and then down. Like this is a very nipple-like and chakra-like. Sideways, so it could be like, and interestingly, almost like a row of them, like different tiers of the chakra, in some like recessive, not sure how to say it, like staggered. Anyway, but things like that happening in the interacting general currents that we see of the striations. Like this one's striations are generally wrapping around as I move through the stone. See it like creating boxes over here as they, I'm guessing the current at the base was going left here, and this one was bent by it to go that like straight that way instead, where the bend is imprinted. And maybe another current was going this way, generally pushing this current, and then as it passes it, it's running into this other current, so it's actually bending it. And maybe this current and this current could interact with these ones coming through that are being bent by them to like eddy it enough to actually create something. It almost looks like there's an eddy boundary like right there with like a ammonite thing and then like a circle off it with several circle type things. So maybe it even was kind of eddying there in this like corner where it had nowhere else to go. I'm still confused. I don't know where the images are. I thought I had found them. But I'll just go to camera. Oh. It's like, oh, nothing on screen. Put my friggin' arm all up in there. Yeah, so I have exciting development. I guess I can bring my head back. That's not the exciting development, but no, not that one. Oh, where was that camera? I don't even know where that was. the exciting development is I realized I can rest the Shaligram on this and then like look at it at different angles. Okay, let's get a toothpick. I need one of these fresh toothpicks. So that's the scale. Okay, just for kind of main ammonite. So we can kind of see it was cutting between a bit. But nothing too out of the ordinary in here that I noticed thus far. It's really pretty ordinary inside. Let's keep looking though, before I just move on from it immediately. It's definitely, I don't know what to make of what's generally going on here. Trying to visualize. I guess it's just generally eroded. Looks all relatively normal. Pretty cool. So that's the opening there. So through that hole. Still not even looking at the cool stuff. This is interesting. It's kind of got like a chakra element. Like when taking this into account right here, this little rounded part, when taking that into account and the boundary that comes off it down over that way. And then going from there, over, down, over, down, over, down, over, down. And then starting to go more and more down. It kind of looks somewhat like a chakra there. That's interesting. I mean, that's just like in the opening. So it's not... It's very subtle. It's possible there's things like that going on. I would say probable. Okay, let's look at where the slice comes in. It's kind of tricky. So this is where the second ammonite just slices in. Oh my god, I hadn't seen it like this before. Dude, I don't know where these photos are going. I'm just clicking them. into some folder somewhere. I thought that's what I was trying to find. Oh my god, the slice. Over here, it just looks like some kind of slice. Crazy. Okay, we're as close as we can get. Sorry, Shaligram, we're as close as we can get. Okay. Maybe pause. Say cheers. Cheers. Okay. Sorry, Shaligram. I don't mean to put you on the spot here. I know. Okay, so it really looks quite slice-like there, but if we just continue along this path, we could clearly, let's turn it. Okay, there we go. Like, look at those striations. What? That shit is mind-boggling, and we only touch the striations here. Let me move my head again. Okay. So, like, there's a first of all, there's kind of a chakra forming here, where it's going down, over, tip out here, and then somewhat back over with kind of staggered. It's not doing it so much as to have formed it in ammonite, but it just, as the flow here continues, it goes through here, and then it goes into this other region. I wonder if we can like see through somehow. We can see. I guess I don't need the toothpick after all. Here and below, across about there. And then again, a line across about there. Very reminiscent of ammonite features. Suggestive. Current was making it through there. I can't see it. Maybe if I shined a light through it, we could see if it shows up. That reminds me, I can do this. Oh shit, we see it going through. So cool. I'm shining inside the larger ammonite. Yeah, the laser is inside the largest ammonite, and we see it. reflecting into this one, beyond this one. So somehow it's making its way from the larger ammonite from over here and out here, I guess probably through this way. Like internally though, from in there and in here, unless there's more porous aspects to it. Like again, we see that same like shape that there. It's probably there. But then, okay, let's keep going. Why is it so different lighting wise? I'm so confused. I think I might have bumped the I dropped the frickin' microscope thing I'm using. Maybe, oh yeah, I don't know. I was hoping distance was the issue. Okay. Let's just keep looking. So then if we keep going over beyond there, so we've established it connects through, and then here we can see it connecting through. So once it enters into this one, which the laser went into, we can then see the boundary goes up, down, up, shock forms a sort of chakra thing. Down, up, down, up, down, and then again forms a sort of chakra thing here. With like oh my god. Nothing to see here. Go back to sleep. Also, it looks like the upper chakra here has like a lower energy level where it could erode at. And then that could be a chakra that then has like a tier that goes more this way, but like going down and going maybe that way. Kind of just removing portions of the surroundings that slowly actually shapes the general wavy pattern into an ammonite, for instance. But then if we just follow it some more, this is pretty cool here. A little odd the way that is. It's just a little odd. Like down here it's going sloped across. We see some lines going straight across here. Down. But then this doesn't really have that so much. It's more across and then up with the one, maybe a little bit down, but across. Where like this across. I should probably stop holding it. This one goes across and basically continues right there. Whereas this striation goes across and basically continues at the top portion. So then between them seems to maybe have been eroded. I'm not sure if that's just the way it's reflecting. It's probably... It's probably impossible for me to tell by looking at it with my eyes. I suspect it's further eroded in to be kind of like steps inward. Also, it has there a little circle, and then down over, down again, something there, down over, down again. So almost like a three-tiered thing going on here. So many oddities, but wow, this like perfect separation here. Wow, that boundary. And then hard boundary over here. Let's pull out a little bit. Oh my god. Okay, so then just following that pattern that's going up, down, up, down, up, down, and then we run into this portion where it like clearly continues along this path. And it's maybe even a secondary one right there, kind of like where we saw just here or whatever. But kind of doing where it could erode this out, basically, but it hasn't. Or didn't. It didn't. But it went off of the top side here and flowed this way. Continuing the flow. Continuing the flow. Continuing. Where then it seems to abruptly just go straight from there. So if we follow it back... back to here, so it flowed from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flowed from the top over here, but if we follow this straight line, which doesn't like just start here, it continues. So if we follow it, it seems to continue over here. I'm like trying to move it with my mouse. Move thing. Boom, over here. So basically the bottom. So the top goes one way, the bottom half, two currents, goes across at a different location. But then they meet up together here. Where then, oh, another lobe shape type feature. That then if we look at this, if we start here and go back over this way, it kind of sharpens and then goes over like a chakra. And then this line becomes chakra-like. Like then over here becomes lobe-like. Like if this is a chakra, then this is a lobe kind of thing going on. That's just pseudo happening as the current flows. And as it interacts with all the other currents, and then it takes this straight line though, and then it basically reaches a region where it can erode more easily, because that's where the pressures are least, so it's most able to flow there. based on just the actual pressures that were driving these water currents that were eroding and etching and shaping and forming, conglomerating these stones, making them. And in their totality, not just eroding them, and then it kind of like widens. So it's like, where's it going? It kind of disappears, turns into this little current that gets through, goes under the chakra, and then boom, widens some more. It starts to look kind of like it's just widening as we go across here, but it's really just like turning into ammonite teeth. Oh my god, just really is ammonite teeth. Or ribs, I mean. Okay, where is... Oh my god. Where... Okay. So I thought this was interesting. I was looking around. So here's where we were just looking at, this portion here. So then I was like, okay, where is... Like, it's the other portion of the ammonite. So I went back over here. Here's the top half of the ammonite, like here to this bottom that we're just looking at, that formed out of that crack, if you will. That one, its top half, I was just kind of looking around, like, okay, what can I see under the microscope? And here's where the top half kind of starts, if you will. And isn't that interesting? I saw this. I looked at it and I said, "Dear modern science, at your earliest convenience, please note you must abridge everything." Look at, oh my god. So this, here's the actual opening into the Shaligram, and then here's the corner right there. So this is really like of that corner. Goes across. So current basically exhausts the main eddy through pressures of currents going up, down in this image. That are, some of them are going more sideways a little bit, but it looks like they might even be generally redirecting this way. I don't know exactly, just kind of glancing at it, but they're going certainly in the direction of the striations generally, except for sometimes currents from certain regions that are like bladders that fill and then like strain under the filling to the point that they overflow because they started as a void, so things flowed into them, but then once things flowed into them, it flowed to the point that it actually went beyond the equilibrium, kind of like a vibratory back and forth oscillation that led to exhausting, exhaust, and then it comes over here where then it's more able to interact, where we see there we go. I don't know what that was. Oh my god. Oh yeah. So it connects from over there though to over here. And then where we started out over here, where the ammonite is actually like distinctly visible. If we start there, we notice these odd striations. They're spaced, they're relatively in the same direction, and yet not like all the same direction. The ones that are like of the same magnitude, like it's much darker here, much darker there, much darker there, much darker. Literally, these like that is happening is a product of the energies of the currents being higher, it seems, where they're like main conduits compared to other channels. We even see it bend over here. It's bending around, and as well as going more that way. But then this one seems to go a different direction than the ones of the same magnitude. And like the smaller striations kind of make sense for glaciers if like in a vacuum, if we just look at like one little region of the smaller striations without ignoring all the nuances of the shaligrams that show that they're not caused by glaciers, these features. Ignoring that, these things, I don't know what to say. They tend, or if they were formed by glaciers, like, there's no reason the glaciers would erode the stone later say, I don't know if later, there probably are elements of them being simultaneous in their details because they were. But where it like spacedly erodes them, it doesn't really make sense. It kind of makes sense for little grains producing like consistently, but these things don't actually make sense for glaciers. So I thought that was really kind of profound. This detail is so incredible. We see it again doing that phase thing. Like the chakra that was fading into a different, like not being a chakra anymore. Not that it ever was, because it was like subtle in something like this. Whatever detail. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Not in the sense of a true ammonite. We see some eddies. Seem to have happened here, here, maybe here, maybe here. Then we got these striations over here. So going this way, go across, across, across. And this way, go up. Wait, what? Notice we don't really see other striation directions here. They're generally left, right, and we're just hanging out. Left, right, and then we go up, and then once we pass a boundary, that boundary, specifically this boundary at the top, once we pass that boundary, we enter a zone of other currents being more, oh my god. Oh my lord and bro. Dudes, I feel like I see a chakra. Like where it's creating the spiral by doing like generally this way. So it's spiraling in to the chakra here. But then it's running into the tiers of the chakra. So like here's a tier, but then like specifically to like here and over. And then like kind of down and down, up, over, doing something like more than chakras necessarily do in like the more obvious chakra, but like a different boundary as well, like more in here to there maybe. It's like an inner one, because essentially I'm saying like right here is a chakra with like a boundary here. And then more tiers above it though. And then again, like spiraling into it with this. I feel like I see it. And then maybe even a counter. Maybe not a chakra. I wonder, maybe like a nucleus region? Like here? And maybe, I don't know, like the way this is. Kind of making me think of ammonite shape. I know it may. Can I do that anywhere? Can I do that anywhere? I guess maybe somewhat here. But probably because it's related. It seems to kind of die off though, like over here where the general linearity of this one and the general linearity of this one don't seem to have counterparts. Like there's one there, maybe one there, maybe one there, almost like it becomes one over there. Maybe a sort of counterpart, unclear counterpart, like large. Maybe even something more of that nature where it's like growing to just disperse over on that side. I don't know. Or there's nothing there, it's just some lines. Oh my god, I can still see the chakra though. Oh, you guys see it? I mean, am I seeing things? Probably right. Or is that another chakra? Like right here, just like a smaller one, maybe like. Down to like this level, that then is like a counterpart to that one. So like here's chakra. And then, like, chakras tend to have, like, shadows of themselves, different options where they could go down to the next tier kind of thing. So then the top chakra there, and then what I thought to be the nucleus of this thing, 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 would maybe be... Let's go blue. Because like one's positive, one's negative, if you will. Interestingly, where it almost seems to like subtly go down to another like chakra that's like here. Like if this were to just not be, like this would be another chakra. So it's almost like this chakra uses this chakra's energy to go up a little higher. And then is more defined on this side. But then, like, let's say it did it again and went up even higher. So maybe, like, it's generally going up to there. So I guess maybe there's, like, a second half blue type thing here. Let's here, this is red side. this red side here. Up to this boundary that I'm not drawing to. Or actually, maybe red side. Let's do this again. Just thinking, just playing with it. Oh yeah, you can't see my face. I was making faces. Let's say this one maybe like more relating to this boundary. Whereas maybe this upper one is more related to the bottom energies pushing in. So that like the blue chakra is extending into the red zone. And the red chakra is extending into the blue zone. In terms of its influence, so like in a more general sense, current flows in the bottom half and the top half maybe are going different directions. And then being forced by pressures into one another that then are leading to the potential of an ammonite to a point where it's actually forming more subtly those things there between the interactions. I don't know, just something worth noting as I just kind of glance at this. We kind of sidetracked though, pretty heavy there. When we go back over here, there's lots of little dots, like strange dot, 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 dot amongst these flows. I should probably go to bed. What am I doing? I'll wake up early. No one cares anyway. Future mites, I don't know. I just don't know what's happening. So weird. Life is weird. The more you know, the less you know. Clearly, more you know, a fucking idiot. Tell us all about all the things you know, Mr. Current Man. Oh, and then the flow did that, huh? Did it? Oh, so. Yeah, it did, motherfuckers. I can jest without being wrong. Yeah. those layers. So this is something else worth noting. All this time we're looking at these things, we're like striations. Striations. There's some kind of... let me see if I can find it with my eyeballs. I believe it was right here. So, where this is going on, we kind of look a little closer. I believe we can see some odd details. Maybe not here. I was way more zoomed or something. Something. Somewhere it really looks like the striations are very tied to layers. Like they're not striations so much as layers. I'm not finding it, it's okay. Notice how if this is an ammonite, there's a ring-like structure in the rib that it induces. In its side even. Maybe there, no. See that same kind of chakra shape here. It's even doing it kind of here. And just the way it is, almost like half a chakra. This side, or this side is something else going on. Looks almost like an outlet or a current went this way. And then it went down along the other side and went this way. Probably going then the other direction. And that current right along there. Maybe leading this one across this way, going this way to deflect as it approached it and goes more this way and turns. And even just gets like redirected this way as another current's coming through here. I don't know about all that, but this one seems to have some cool features with it. Okay. This also seems to be doing the like hills and valleys and having like gouges in the shape of the rib there. Oh shit. Oh, I'm so sorry, Shaligram. He's okay. I'm sorry, Shaligram. Better put this mouse pad a little closer. Freaking. Fell off the thing. Oh. I was thinking I need a different size one for this. It's a little too small for that exact reason. My own fault, sorry, Shaligram. Hate to in any way inflict any stress into the system. As I have them shipped from abroad. Thanks, guys. I don't even know where we're looking, but it's pretty cool. I like that white speck. It looks almost like it's getting twirled. I'm not having any successful zoom ins. Angle. I gotta change the angle. Okay, I'm thinking that'll work. Let's zoom in. Oh, hell yeah. Even on this scale. It's bending over. So it's almost like it's flowing resistance. And it's running into resistance and dropping down an energy level, if you will. So like if this is flowing, where is this mouse? If this red current, let's say there's tiers that we kind of see over here. Let's say the red current is going right. I don't know. And it's running into resistance. Then by the blue current going left. That also like extends into there and is going left. But generally is over here opposite. Probably like fully overlapping one another, just with dominant and recessive aspects in essence, where one direction is predominantly in one half and the other direction in the other half. Kind of element to the current flows generally here. But where then the red current, because the blue current is dominantly on the bottom half, its energy drops off as it approaches up here. So the red current can easily extend into the blue current as it approaches it here. But then it gets further and further into the blue current to a point where it can't easily extend into it. And then a hard boundary where it's really not able to get much further, and that's predominantly where the current interacts across. I think it's kind of cool that this subtle image I'm going to use to such detail when it may or may not even be a thing in the image. I think it is, but I say it certainly is, so that's why I'm using it too. But essentially, that leads say a current here in this bottom current going this way to move up a layer. So it goes up a layer, and let's say there's pressure again from the blue current, so it moves up a layer, moves up a layer, moves up a layer, moves up a layer, and basically to some point that it can most move up to. So maybe actually it may be that this red current really like shifts kind of like where the blue current is going left on the bottom and then left on the top. And the red current is going right on the bottom, right on the top in this image, which then probably this boop, boop kind of thing, ultimately. While continuing through like we saw before, and then another like chakra forms, etc. in many instances. But having that general flow pattern and then moving around in tiers so as to produce chakras, and like it seems to be specifically doing it in stepped manner, in like a pixelated stepped manner here, where it was going like more cleanly and smoothly as one across this way, and then it's like up, it goes down, up, down, up, down, not up, but oh, shiza, resistance, and down. Oh, resistance again, down. Oh, resistance again. And then it starts to like build a flow down, maybe even like related down this way. Like actually a flow down that maybe goes that way. All of which is perhaps related to this boundary as a whole. Crazy how these patterns are so kind of clean and linear in this area. Wow. Wow. It's like one of those bends that maybe just got moved out of place, but like still is part of the current flows.
This is our song for everyone. This is our song for everyone.
But then over here,
It can't be wrong.
it starts to bend up and into this crevice. Like right there. Which could just be the shape of the stone, but that would be because of the layers. This looks really porous in this area. All the dark spots look like pores. Just freaking shine it into the... into the ammonite. That is so cool. I'm just like, what if I shine it right at the ammonite? The nucleus. Maybe it's like a distribution center. this is. GG. Always a pleasure, dudes. Just looking at the striations like crazy. He's a madman. I was just kind of looking like, I guess I should record. Started looking at it in this camera. Finding stuff like, oof, that's pretty cool. Okay, maybe I'll zoom out some more. I've been zoomed in, wasn't I? Shoot. We were really zoomed in. That's worth like re-zooming in actually. Toothpick tip is that big on the screen. That's the scale we're looking at. These are tiny striations. And yet they're doing these complex patterns. Probably having pores, that's what I think. Those might be pores. I don't know how to look at it without like possibly blinding myself with this light. I mean, it must be getting into there somehow. Crazy. That's crazy. I'm shining the light like over here somewhere, and it's showing up in the pores over here. Let's see, wherever I was, any of the pores probably, if it's myself. Green laser, danger, and danger, laser. Oh, it's not working like it was. It could certainly be positionally dependent. Here into the ammonites. I almost need to turn this off. That's what happens when it's on it. Whoa. Whoa. That's pretty cool. Let's turn this light back on. So I at least know the focus. Oh. Nothing to see here. Just flowing green laser. What the fuck? Oh, tricky to hold it there. All shining in my eyes. Okay, I'm just kind of hanging out, checking this out. I wanted to do the flow again. Oh my god. Dude. Oh God. What the fuck? Need the attachment. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna have to hold the freaking button at least. It's tedious and difficult. So my thoughts are maybe it's reflecting off the striations and interacting with them. Like, what is going on? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. What? What did we just see, dudes? Okay, let's get better zoom. Maybe that was part of it. I need a better surface for shining on. I can't. Maybe here. Maybe purposely. What the fuck? Nothing out of the ordinary, no sorry. Just really it exaggerates and really brings out some element of the interaction of the light with the Shaligram by having it out of focus here. There's those little they show up almost like a flow. Conduit here. I guess highlighting channels. That's what I feel like. Channel. Channel. I'd say that's certainly a channel there. Okay, guys, we're gonna stop here as one. So, cool Shaligram, let's go back. Again, it's this one with all the features we talked about in the beginning of the episode. Yeah. Epic. I definitely did not look at everything. I don't even think I really looked at over here much. Besides just connecting it through. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for watching. Much love. Till next time.
Swami Vishnu Devananda was trained in the art of yoga at the Vedanta Forest University in India. Swami Vishnu Devananda was trained in the art of yoga at the Vedanta Forest University in India. Swami Vishnu Devananda was trained in the art of yoga. Swami Vishnu Devananda was trained in the art of yoga. Swami Vishnu Devananda was trained in the art of yoga. He is a missionary who conducts classes in yoga.
What is yoga? Is a regulated life. Controlling your body, controlling your diet, controlling your breathing, controlling your thought emotions, and then thinking of the Supreme Being is yoga. So whether you believe in yoga or not, you're all practicing unconsciously or consciously. But if you practice consciously and systematically in a scientific way, you can achieve very good results in a short period of time. And it can be practiced by anybody, under whatever may be their age or circumstances. Wherever man is, whether it's east or west, man is the same and he has got the same problem. And everybody is searching one thing. What is this? One thing which we are all searching in common. Bliss, joy, happiness. So even modern life, if you know how to control your mind, how to control your thoughts, how to regulate your body, how to control your breathing, naturally you can be the happiest person than when you are not practicing such things. So it is whether you are in the east or west or whether you are materialistic or spiritual man, everybody can practice yoga.